Have you ever noticed how these new AI agents, they just feel different, way more capable, a lot more personal? Well, it's not just about them getting better at language. Today, we're going to look under the hood at the one ingredient that's changing absolutely everything: memory. This is the secret to how a simple tool becomes a true digital partner.
I mean, we've all been there, right? That incredibly frustrating loop with a chatbot where you have to re-explain everything from scratch, sometimes in the very same conversation. That's the traditional model, basically a digital goldfish. But Agentic AI, that's a whole new ballgame. It has a memory, it learns from you, it adapts, and that is the secret sauce that makes it truly useful.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to explore why memory is such a massive game changer. Then we'll get kind of nerdy and dissect the different types of AI memory. After that, we'll see how they all work together, tackle the very real challenges of creating a digital mind, and finally, we'll take a peek into the future of this incredible tech. Okay, let's dive right into our first section, from chatbot to assistant. And look, this isn't just some marketing term, it's a fundamental shift in what these tools can do for us. And the secret ingredient, you guessed it, is memory.
Really, it all boils down to this one simple statement. Without memory, an AI is just a reactive tool. It can only answer one question at a time. But with memory, it becomes a proactive partner, a genuine assistant that actually starts to understand you and your needs over time. And you can see the real-world benefits right here. Memory allows for personalization, so it knows you like bullet points in your summaries. It gives you task continuity, so you can pick up a project right where you left off yesterday. It retains context, so you stop answering the same questions over and over. And crucially, it learns from its past actions, getting smarter and more helpful with every single interaction. This is the difference between a simple tool and a real teammate. So if memory is the foundation, what's it actually made of? Let's get into the core memory types. You see, just like our own brains, an AI doesn't have one giant single memory. It has different kinds that are specialized for different jobs. First up, we've got short-term, or what you might call working memory. The best way to think about this is as the AI's mental scratch pad. It's holding on to the context of your current conversation, just like how you remember the beginning of this sentence to understand the end of it. It's temporary, but it's absolutely essential for a coherent chat. And this shows it perfectly. When you say something like, as I mentioned a minute ago, the AI is using its short-term memory to look back a few lines and grab that context. This is what keeps you from having to repeat yourself constantly within a single chat session. It's a lifesaver. Next up is long-term memory. And this, my friends, is where the true personalization really kicks in. This is like the permanent vault where the AI stores key information about you and your past work, session after session after session. And just look at what gets stored here. Your preferences, tasks you've already finished, even past mistakes and the corrections you made. This is how an AI assistant learns that you're a project manager who needs reports in a very specific format, or a developer who always works in Python. It's how it builds a real, persistent relationship with you. And then we have semantic memory. Now, if long-term memory is the AI's journal about you, semantic memory is its library about, well, everything else. The world. It's the AI's internal fact-checked encyclopedia. This is the agent's knowledge bank, and it's what keeps it grounded in reality. This is unbelievably powerful in professional settings. You could load an AI for an HR department with every single company policy, or one for customer support can have every product manual memorized, backwards and forwards. This is what ensures the AI gives you accurate, reliable answers and avoids just making stuff up. Okay, so we've got a scratch pad for the present, a personal vault for our history, and this massive library for world facts. But the real magic, the big aha moment, is how these pieces connect and actually work together. So let's dive into the anatomy of an AI mind. Because that's the big question, isn't it? How does a machine orchestrate all these different memory systems to produce behavior that feels, well, intelligent and, cohesive? It works in this stunningly elegant hierarchy. Let's say you ask, hey, based on our last discussion, summarize the key points from that new climate report for me. The AI doesn't just guess. First, it uses its short-term memory to understand what you even mean by last discussion.
Then it checks its long-term memory, recalling that you prefer summaries with bolded key takeaways. And finally, it queries its semantic memory, the climate report itself, to get the facts right. This whole process is what we call retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, and it's how the AI combines conversational context with cold, hard facts. It's brilliant.
But, building this stuff isn't easy. In fact, a perfect photographic memory can actually create its own set of huge problems. So let's get real for a minute and talk about the challenges. First off, there's something called memory explosion. I mean, if an AI remembered every single trivial word whoever said, it would get bogged down in useless detail pretty fast. So the solution is intelligent summarization, where the AI actually learns to identify and store only the most important stuff. It learns what's worth remembering. Another huge challenge is false memories, or what we usually call hallucinations. This is when an AI just confidently states something that's totally wrong. The fix is to ground it in its semantic memory. Before it answers you, the agent can cross-reference the facts in its own knowledge bank to validate its response. It's like its own internal fact-checker. And of course, the elephant in the room, privacy. Look, if an AI is going to remember personal details about you, that data has to be locked down like Fort Knox. This is completely non-negotiable. It means your info has to be encrypted, and you need to be in control, with super clear policies on what the AI remembers and for how long. It's your data, your rules. Period. So even as engineers are wrestling with these massive challenges, the future of AI memory is already starting to take shape. Let's jump ahead for a second and look at the next frontier, because frankly, what's coming is pretty mind-blowing. We're talking about AIs that can maintain a full autobiography of their interactions with you. AIs that can understand emotional memory, not just what you said, but the tone and context of past conversations. And get this, even agents that can share memories to learn from each other's experiences. This is the path to true lifelong learning AI. And that brings us to what might be the single most important takeaway from all of this. It's a point that completely changes how you see AI. Memory isn't just a database. It's not just storage. It is intelligence. Without memory, AI is just a conversational parrot, but with it, you get continuity. And that continuity builds capability. And that capability is what we perceive as true intelligence. It's a really profound journey. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. As this technology becomes a bigger and bigger part of our daily lives, what's the very first thing you would want your own personal AI assistant to remember about you?